Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. So today's discussion is rather short. Basically, what we are going to hear is all the pastimes, primarily in the ninth canto and 10th canto, 11th canto, 12th canto, summarized in a brief way. There is one other theme that we'll discuss. Other than that, please pay attention to the reading only. Yeah, I think I started recording already. Yeah. Venu Prabhu, you were there. You can start, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Aranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtigim. Text 24. The Bhagavata narrates sanctifying pastimes of Lord Ramchandra, the king of Koshala, and also explains how King Nimi abandoned his material body. The appearance of descendants of King Janaka is also mentioned. Text 25 and 26. The Srimad Bhagavatam describes how Lord Parshurama, the greatest descendant of Bhrigu, annihilated all the Kshatriyas on the face of the earth. It further recounts the lives of glorious kings who appeared in the dynasty of the moon god. Kings such as Aila, Yayati, Nashua, Dushmanta's son Bharata, Shantanu, and Shantnu's son Bhishma. Also described is the greatest dynasty founded by King Yadu, the eldest son of Yayati. Text 27. How Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Lord of the universe, descended into this Yadu dynasty, how he took birth in the home of Vasudeva, and how he then grew up in Gokula. All this is described in detail. Text 28-29. All glorified are the innumerable pastimes of Sri Krishna, the enemy of the demons, including his childhood pastimes of sucking out Putana's life air along with her breast milk, breaking the cord, trampling down Trunavrata, killing Bakasura, Vastasura, and Aghasura, and the pastimes he enacted when Lord Balarama when Lord Brahma he hid his calves and cowherd boyfriends in a cave. Text 30. The Srimad Bhagavatam tells how Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama killed the demon Dhenugasura and his companions, how Lord Balarama destroyed Pralambasura, and also how Krishna saved the cowherd boys from a raging forest fire that had encircled them. Text 31-33. The chastisement of the serpent Kaliya, the rescue of Nanda Maharaj from a great snake, the severe works performed by the young gopis who thus satisfied Lord Krishna, the mercy he showed the wives of Vedic Brahmanas who felt remorse, the lifting of Govardhana hill followed by the worship and bathing ceremony performed by Indra, and the Surabhi cow. Lord Krishna's nuptial pastimes with the cowherd girls and the killing of foolish demons, Shankachoda, Arishta, and Keshi. All these pastimes are elaborately recounted. Text 34. The Bhagavatam describes the arrival of Akrura, the subsequent departure of Krishna and Balarama, the lamentation of the gopis, and the touring of Mathura. Text 35 also narrated are how Krishna and Balarama killed elephant Kuvalayapida, the wrestlers Mushtika and Chanura, and Kamsa, the other demons, as well as how Krishna brought back the dead son of his spiritual master, Sandipani Mani. Text 36. Then, O Brahmanas, this scripture recounts how Lord Hari, while residing in Madhura, in the company of Uddhava and Balarama, performed pastimes for the satisfaction of the Yadu dynasty. Text 37 also described on the annihilation of each of the many armies brought by Jarasandha, the killing of barbarian king Kalayavana, and establishment of the Dwaraka city. Text 38. This work also describes how Lord Krishna brought from heaven the Parijata tree and Sudharma assembly hall, and how he kidnapped Rukmini by defeating all his rivals in battle. Text 39 also narrated how Lord Krishna in the battle with Vanasura defeated Lord Shiva by making him Vyan, how the Lord cut off Vanasura's arm, and how he killed the master of Prag- Prag- Pragjotishpura, and then rescued the young princess held captive in the city. Text 40-41. There are descriptions of the powers and the deaths of King Sedi, Paundraka, Shalva, and the Polish Dantavakra, Shambara, Dvida, Pitha, Mura, Panchajana, and other demons, along with description of how Varanasi was burned down to the ground. The Bhagavatam also recounts how Lord Krishna relieved the earth burden by engaging the Pandavas in the battle of Kurukshetra. Text 42-43. How the Lord withdrew his dynasty on the pretext of Brahmana's curse, Vasudeva's conversation with Narada, the extraordinary conversation between Uddhava and Krishna, which reveals the science of self in complete detail and elucidates the religious principles of human society. And then how Lord Krishna gave this mortal world by his own mystic power. The Bhagavatam narrates all these events. Text 44. This work also describes people's characteristics and behavior in different ages. The chaos men experience in the age of Kali, the four kinds of annihilation, and the three kinds of creation. Text 45. There are also an account of passing away of the wise and saintly king Vishnuratha Parikshit, and explanation of how Srila Vyasadeva disseminated the branches of the Vedas, a pious narration concerning Markandeya Rishi, and description of the detailed arrangement of the Lord's universal form and his form as the sun, the soul of the universe. Text 46. Thus, O best of Brahmanas, I have explained herein what you have inquired from me. This literature has glorified in full detail the activities of the Lord's past time incarnations. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So the context here was that Sudha Goswami is trying to conclude the Srimad Bhagavatam after explaining all the answers for Sonak Rishi. So in this chapter, we already heard. First, he started with some glorification of the hearing about the glories of hearing Krishna Katha like that, and some glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam like that. But later in the chapter, actually tomorrow's session will be amazing with lots of glorification of hearing, lots of glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. And actually further session also, one or two more sessions also, same next chapter is also titled Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam like that. So that's how it started. Chapter started with glorification of hearing Krishna Katha and glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam by Sudha Goswami. Not in response to any question, he's just trying to conclude and he's summarizing, like usually what speakers do. So he's in that context we heard yesterday how he summarized the content in several cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. One of the principles we heard from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was that don't think that other pastimes are less important because he did not mention them in summary like that. So there's one important point we heard. He's just emphasizing some of the key things he covered like that. So then we came up to, let me see, 26 verse today. Yeah, we came up to 9th canto. Yesterday, 8th and 9th canto we were discussing summaries. Then continuing from there. Yeah, I'll mention primarily one theme in detail starting the 27th verse. Let me go. 26th verse is today, I think, right? Let me see. Yeah, it's talking about ninth canto, concluding the ninth canto past tense, Parshuram past tense, how he annihilated all the Kshatriyas, and then the dynasty of moon god, and then greatest dynasty found by King Yadu, in which Lord Krishna also appeared, like that is described. Now, 27th verse to 41st verse is describing about Canto 10, the summary. You already heard this when Vedi was reading. I'll highlight few things only, especially where Acharya commentary is there for 27th verse, and one more verse of the 45th, I think, that I will expand. Basically, 27th verse is describing how Krishna descended in Yadu dynasty and how he took birth in the home of Vasudeva, and how he then grew up in Goloka. That Jiva Goswami catches this word "and" here, basically. Cha in the Sanskrit verse is cha, and he basically says this is confirming actually in reference to the past time of Nanda Krishna's birth, and then basically in the 10th, he refers to 10th canto back again. Jiva Goswami says in the 10th canto there is a description about how when Krishna was born, Nanda Maharaj did a festival. Not only did a festival, he actually invited Vedic Brahmanas to chant the Vedic mantras and then do Vedic rituals for production of Krishna. And then he did all the proper birth ceremonies like that. He did. So those are possible. Actually, in the Gurujan Prabhu describes in this book, commentary from Jiva Goswami, basically one of the point made here is that Nanda Maharaj also did Jatakarma ceremony. Jatakarma ceremony means like the umbilical cord cutting for the baby, like that. That means that's only possible if Krishna is also born to Yashoda Mataji there, like that he describes. So, in that connection, the main point Jiva Goswami is making is not only Krishna was born for Vasudeva and Devaki, he was simultaneously also born to Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji in Gokula. Not only in Madura, but also in Gokula. That's the point elaborated in the commentary for this particular verse, 27th verse. So now, 28th and 29th verse are describing childhood pastimes of how Krishna killed Putana as a baby itself, and Krishna killed Trinavarta, Bakasura, Varsasura, Agasura, and Lord Brahma's hiding of the calves and cowherd boys in a cave, like that pastime. Brahma Vimochan Lila, we commonly call it. And then following verse is talking about killing of Lord Krishna and Balaram together, killing the Dhenukasura and his associates or companions is called. And Lord Balaram killing Pralambasura, how Krishna saved the cowherd boys by swallowing the fire. And then the next verse talks about Krishna subduing the Kaliya serpent and rescuing Nanda Maharaj from great snake. So many pastimes are described. I will highlight few things only. So in this verse, one thing to notice is, it says, the mercy Krishna showed the wives of the Vedic Brahmanas who felt remorse. So 2 points made here. This is, of course, a whole chapter in 10th canto. Basically, the Krishna showed the special mercy on the wives of the Vedic Brahmanas. That's the point. That's where they could recognize Krishna, they could serve Krishna, like that. There's one angle. Now, second point is, the Vedic Brahmanas, after that whole episode is done, where they understood their wives actually took advantage of Krishna's appearance and took advantage of opportunity to serve Krishna, like that, right? So that when they felt that, they felt actually remorse. That means they felt bad that they could not go, like that. Of course, the same chapter also describes that these Vedic Brahmanas, even though they had remorse, they're still scared to go and meet Krishna, even at that time, because they were thinking, what happens if Kamsa comes to know? Then maybe he will put us in jail again and will trouble us, like that. So their fear factor was more than their love for Krishna or their appreciation for greatness of Krishna, like that. Whereas in case of their wives, Vedic Brahmanas' wives, they didn't care about anything. Their fathers, husbands, elder brothers, everybody stopped. but they still went away anyway. So that's a point to be noted. Yeah, I see Asminta Mataji hand is raised. Toward the end, we'll discuss Mataji any comments or questions. So let's go
Thank you.
to yeah. Let's go to the next one. That is about this was 31 to 33 verse. Now 34th verse is talking about how Akrura came to Vrindavan and then took Krishna and Balaram to Mathura, and then the lamentation of gopis, and then Krishna visiting Mathura and his touring of Mathura, different aspects, different mercy he gave to different devotees, like that is described. And then Krishna and Balaram killing Kuvalayapida, big elephant, like that, and that comes high range. So with a mad elephant, the very, very powerful elephant, so Krishna and Balaram can be killed in his thought process. And then Krishna comes high range, the wrestlers Mustika and Chanura to fight with Krishna and Balaram in hopes that they'll kill him. That is the last hope he had. If everything else fails, but Krishna and Balaram killed them also easily. And then Krishna killed Kamsa also. And then Krishna brought back the dead son of his spiritual master Sandipan Muni. Our acharyas like this point very much to confirm to when they are describing how Krishna exhibited superhuman pastimes that show that he's Supreme Lord. This is one of the pastimes they describe, that how he brought back the dead son of his spiritual master to life like that. And of course, several other things, for example, like he expanded into 16,100 personalities, same Krishna, no, nothing different. And then married 16,100 queens like that and stayed with them and took care of the family life also, following the religious principles. Like that also described commonly. And then, of course, lifting Giri Govardhana also, and just as a small boy of 7 years old. Like that, few pastimes are very highlighted very much to confirm the greatness of Krishna in terms of the acts that he performed like that. So next verse, 36th verse. Yeah, this talks about two aspects. One is while Krishna was residing in Madura, he was in the association of Uddhava. So we know Uddhava was a great devotee. Outside Vrindavan, among all the devotees, Uddhava was the topmost, like that. Basically, he was giving constant association to Krishna in Madura and later in Dwaraka also, like that. And we know 11th canto also we heard how Uddhava got special mercy and special instructions from Krishna before he left. And then Krishna and Balaram performed pastimes for the satisfaction of the Yadu dynasty is described. So meaning they performed the pastimes for the satisfaction of devotees, like that. So now text 37. And then Krishna annihilated all the armies that brought by Jarasandha so many times, right? That's what it's talking about. And Krishna killing Kalayavana and Krishna establishing Dwarka city just in overnight, like that. Then Lord Krishna bringing the notice, these are not exactly in sequence. So that was also highlighted by Vishwanath Chakravarti that they're not in sequence, but that's fine. So here he describes Lord Krishna brought from heaven the Parijata tree for Satyabhama we hear, and the Sudarbha assembly hall also he brought, that is glorified in 10th canto very much, where they had the assembly as a for the official business, like work, office work, like that. And how he kidnapped Rukmini by defeating all rivals in the battle, like that. Then text 39 is talking about how Lord Krishna fighted with Banasura, defeated Lord Shiva in the process, and then killed him, and also got the young princesses, the 16,000 princesses he got he married at that time. And that time he expanded himself, not just married one after another, not like that. So next text 40, 41. This talking about killing of the different demons, demonic kings, like that, and how Varanasi was burned down one time, and then how Krishna also arranged the battle of Kurukshetra by engaging Pandavas in that battle, like that. That's where the 10th canto descriptions end. Now go into the 11th canto in 2 verses only. He summarizes the whole 11th canto in 2 verses, 42, 43. He says, how Lord withdrew his own dynasty on the pretext of the Brahmanas curse. This we discussed in detail, how Brahma's curse was only external reason for his dynasty, everybody to fight amongst themselves and die like that. That's what is described. So now, yeah, and also it's described this is an act of Yoga Maya, the internal potency of the Lord and Leela Shakti of the Lord, for it to happen like that is described. That means by Krishna's will only it's happening. That's a common thing we heard that chapter, actually several times in the same chapter. Then Vasudeva's conversation with Narada Muni, this talking about when they went to do take the sacred bath on the occasion of one of the eclipses like this, solar eclipses, I think. That's talking about Vasudeva and Narada Muni, where Vasudeva asks him questions, Narada Muni answers. And then the conversation between Uddhava and Krishna, which we know as Uddhava Gita, the main focus of the 11th canto, a lot of chapters. And then where he's giving the science of self-realization, including the religious principles to be followed by human society, and how Lord Krishna himself left this world is described by his own mystic power. The point, important point to note is, which is already highlighted in the chapter when we're reading, is that by his own yogamaya influence, he's trying to create this act like that. Otherwise, normally no one will die if something gets some arrow gets shot in the left feet, it seems. That's number one. Number two, we know Krishna's body is not material, his body is spiritual. So it's just an act of his yoga maya, that is he displayed that kind of pastime of living the world like that, in that way, particular way. And then we heard other reasons why he left like that, instead of like Lord Rama going direct to spiritual world before everybody like that. We heard that also. So that way, people who are don't want to accept it, they'll get to point. Oh, see, he's just a great human being like that. So just to keep their faith like that. Now, text 44 to 46 summarizes the whole of 12th canto so far, whatever we discussed. Summarizes means not the essential points, but summarize means what was discussed, like the topics discussed. Okay. So basically, he's saying people's describes people's characteristics and behaviors in different ages. Remember in the beginning, there was a question that he answered about different ages, like Satya Yuga, how is it? And Treta Yuga, how is it? Dwapara Yuga, how was it? Kali Yuga, how was it? Characteristics of that particular age or that particular Yuga, and also characteristics of the people living in that Yuga also. Those are two aspects he already covered in the beginning. That's what he's describing. And the chaos men experience in the age of Kali. So this is described by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary, that the chaos is referring to degradation of the religious principles, degradation of dharma in the Kali Yuga like that. And then 4 kinds of annihilation. This we discussed also in detail, how there's annihilation after everyday Brahma, and then how is there annihilation, total material annihilation or Prakrita annihilation at the end of Brahma's whole life, and then the annihilation of complete annihilation, which is when we get liberated, when we understand our position and go back to Krishna service like that. And then 4th one was about continuous annihilation. That means like bodies undergoing changes every second, but we are not able to perceive it readily like that. Those different things are described. And then this verse also describes 3 kinds of creation. There's no purport to this, but Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur commentary kindly gives us what does that mean. The 3 kinds of creation is describes the creation from Prakriti, that means the elemental creation by Supreme Lord, Karanadasha Vishnu. And then next is it describes about the daily creation that is done by Brahma every day, like that. And then third one is the normal creation of individual bodies. Like that, Vishnu Chakravarti gives giving the purport. What are the 3 kinds of creation like that? So that's it. Okay, then Going to text 45. Text 45. He's talking about how Parikshit Maharaj left this planet, and explanation of how Srila Vyasadeva disseminated different Vedas through his disciples, like that. And then Markandeya Rishi's narration we heard, how he got the Supreme Lord Darshan directly, and then he got the benediction to see the Maya's influence, and then he got the darshan of Lord Shiva and Uma Devi personally, and then how they gave him benedictions, being pleased with him. We heard the glory, we heard the importance of devotee association in that section, and then detailed arrangement of the Lord's universal form. This is the Mahapurusha thing that we discussed in one of the recent chapters, and his form as the sun, how Krishna through his opulence manifests as a time potency, as sun god, like that. He's moving everything. And then text 46. This is concluding basically summary. What are summary of the topics? He's saying, I explained here what you inquired from me. This literature is glorified in full detail the activities of Lord's pastime incarnations. I think we'll pause there. We'll continue from next verse. Next section tomorrow is amazing. It glorifies the Krishna Katha, hearing of Krishna Katha, chanting, glorifies chanting of Krishna Katha, Krishna's name, qualities, pastimes, like that. And also Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Before it goes to whole chapter that is titled Srimad Bhagavatam Glories. So it's a nice chapter tomorrow also. Yeah. And let me see who's raised hand. Yeah, Smita Mataji. Go ahead, Mataji. You had some comment or question?
Yeah, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I do understand that, there were two Krishnas born at the same time, one with Devaki Mataji and one with Yashoda Mataji. So we always hear pastimes of Yashoda Mataji's Krishna, with all the Leelas and the Govardhan and so forth. So how come we don't hear too much about the Devaki Mataji's Krishna?
Oh, okay. Yeah, basically I think I got it. Basically, the essence of the question is, how come there's no childhood Leela before he went to Madura that he did with Devaki? That is the question essentially, I think, right?
Prabhuji, yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay, good, perfect. So Acharya is described like this. Basically, even though Krishna was appeared in both places, Madura and Gokula simultaneously, what happened? We hear the pastime in Srimad Bhagavatam, straight narration, right? In 10th canto, even in Krishna book also. That Vasudeva, as soon as Krishna was appeared there, he took Krishna to Gokula, right? That Krishna he took is the one that is born to Devaki. Vasudeva Krishna is also referred as number one. So that Krishna is going now to Gokula. At that time when he went to Gokula, Acharyas describe that Krishna is already there in Yashoda Mataji's next to Yashoda Mataji. That is another Krishna already simultaneously appeared, right? So this Krishna that is coming from Madura, Vasudeva Krishna, brought by Vasudeva, stays together with the Krishna that is there, Yashoda Krishna, that is born already. So that way, now all the pastimes are being done by both Krishnas together in one form in that particular pastimes, like that. Krishna's childhood pastimes. Number one. Number two, to further reveal the mystery, they describe then when Akrura took Krishna and Balaram to Madura, at that time is described that the Krishna who was appeared in Gokula, he stayed back in Vrindavan. Especially when the pastime happens, when Krishna and Balaram give him darshan, like Lord Narayana and sleeping on Anand Shesha, like that, is described at that time. This Krishna stayed back. But where is that Krishna staying back? We don't hear about that pastimes anymore. So that pastimes basically is described. Krishna was in the hearts of the gopis and gopas only, and giving them the intense feelings of separation for their transcendental happiness, like that. So that's how Acharya is described. Hopefully that makes sense to you.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So I do remember the part when Nanda Maharaj takes Krishna, through the Yashoda, through Yamuna, right?
Vasudeva. Yeah, Vasudeva taking through Yamuna. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So does Krishna merge into the second Krishna? I mean,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
very
Yeah. I
baffling,
don't
right?
know. Yeah, I don't know what is the word used, but yes, correct.
Okay.
For Krishna, there's nothing. In fact, we know that Krishna, when he comes to this world, 10th canto describes how all the Vishnu incarnations are inside the Krishna, it seems, at that time. So when that is possible, then there is nothing to Krishna's
Right.
movement. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome, Ati. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I'm sorry, I don't know how to raise my hand. I'm sorry about that.
You can learn it. Basically, there's a button called reactions on the bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay, fine, Prabhuji. Next
That
time
way,
I'll do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Thank
So the
Go ahead.
question here, Prabhuji, actually I had a question. So you said that there was a Krishna there and Krishna here. And where did this Maya, Yoga Maya come from? Like where he took the Yoga Maya, right? Like where, what I heard was Yashoda gave birth to Yoga Maya. And here I don't hear it. Not right now when you were talking, I didn't hear about Yoga Maya.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I talk about the whole Bhagavatam. Yeah, that's true. Perfect, Mata. Yogamaya was born to Krishna. Yogamaya was born in the womb of Devaki. And then Krishna ordered her to go to womb of Mother Yashoda. That's also true statement only. Yes, correct. And she attracts Balram later on. So he gives a specific service to her. And we hear in the 10th canto how when Kamsa was trying to kill that baby, right? Like he was killing each of the 8 babies. Then she goes in the sky and tells, okay, the guy who's going to kill you is already born somewhere else. Like that. In that section, Krishna describes how Yogamaya serves Krishna in the material world in different forms of Mahamaya, like Durga, like that. That also is described in that section. Yeah, you're right. That also is there, correct?
No. My question is here, Prabhuji, like when Vasudeva went to leave Krishna in Vrindavan, that time did you find Yoga Maya or Krishna? What did you find there?
Oh, okay. The common narration of 10th canto is that he brings the female wave back, right? That's the common narration.
Yeah, that's what when he went there, he saw a girl, right? Baby
Yeah.
girl.
Correct. That is the common narration. Correct. That is true only. So along with the baby girl, Krishna was also born. That is the Acharya's commentary, Deva Goswami's commentary.
Oh, okay. That's not on the storyline, but the commentary part.
Yeah, correct. That's also storyline. Yeah, storyline, but commentary given by Jiva Goswami. Yeah.
That both Krishna and Yoga Maya were born at a time.
Exactly correct. To Yashoda Mataji. Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. I think you know that. Yeah, Devgan.
One more question. So if Krishna was already with Yashoda Ma and with Devaki Ma, what was the reason behind Krishna leaving Gokul and going to Mathura, right? He didn't need to. He was already there, right?
No, he's not there. Remember, Vasudeva brought him to Gokula. Remember, as soon as he was born.
Mm-hmm.
So he was not there in Madura.
Okay, so this both Krishnas were at the same place. That's why Krishna. Yeah, okay, I got you. Okay,
correct.
Yeah, because the stories go back and forth,
Yes, it's confusing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Devgan Mati, you had a comment or question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My question is that means Krishna never leave the Gokul?
Yeah, you got it. That's a common statement we often hear from Acharya. Says Krishna never leaves Vrindavan, like that we hear, right? Then the question,
okay.
Then we went to Mathura also, right? Like that we hear.
Right.
That's when this expression, you got it, yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Payal Mati, you had some comment or question?
Prabhuji, actually, means I have a little comment on this the series of questions the Mataji's are asking. And Hariparshad Prabhu was also asked that how that happening, that Krishna is going and coming back to Mathura and what is happening. It is bewildering. Krishna is there, here, everywhere. Then Prabhuji is saying that actually Krishna is means literally everywhere, because he can he has two forms always, means two types of forms always. One is prakat and another is aprakat. So in his aprakat form he stays always everywhere with the mood of devotion or mood of the person who is remembering Krishna. He appears from the thin air, just like from here. Means actually he is here too, like in the thin air. If I be pure at that level and I'm seeking to see Krishna in front of me, he appeared from the thin air, like just to give me darshan. Yeah, like Narasimha Dev didn't appear from the pillar. He was not hiding inside the pillar and Hiranyakashipu break and he it's not that he appeared from the thin air, but seems like that he is appearing from the pillar. So Krishna is everywhere.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji, for it. Yeah, I think Uma Mataji has her hand up. Go ahead, Mataji. You had a comment or question.
Again, it's a question, Prabhuji. So according to the storyline, he did leave Vrindavana, but according to Acharyas, he was there in Vrindavana, right?
He was there in Vrindavan also. Yeah, correct. He left Vrindavan also. He lived in Vrindavan also. Yeah.
But storyline is he left Vrindavan.
Yeah, correct.
Only according to Acharyas, he is there in Vrindavan also.
Yeah, Acharyas also. There is fact only. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's you. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Thanks so much, devotees. Let's offer obeisances. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Let's offer obeisance to all the devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kupasindubhyevacha paditanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.